Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 76. Equestrian Idol. I groan as I pull myself out of bed, my joints popping. Hey, Gilda. Rise and shine. Moon is up, and it's time to show these ponies what a real party is. She hops off the mattress, wobbling a little before giving me a quick nuzzle. Let's go. We leave the ship, still moored at the 5th tower, where below, at the gala building, a number of ponies are clearing up my mess from the previous night, and fly down towards the courtyard where the stage has been set up for the concert, as I had asked. We airlifted the rest of the cats down as well, leaving only Steelhorn and Gearmund on the ship, along with the recovering Trixie. I headed backstage to find the Crusaders there, beaming.
That was so awesome! I mean, not as awesome as Rainbow Dash, but the way you just went crazy and tossed that big guy out the window!
Scootaloo said, hyperactive as the Crusaders usually are. Well, at least they didn't see what happened after that. They'd be scarred for life. Yeah, I guess it was pretty cool. No big deal, he was ruining the party.
So, what are you going to sing?
Sweetie Belle with her squeaky voice, which, for some reason, I didn't mind. Can't tell you. It would ruin the surprise. The 3 Crusaders gave a disappointed "aww" and walked away with their heads down to take the place in the crowd. Truth is, without Trix to play my music, I have no freaking clue what I'm gonna do. Hey, come on. Chin up. Here. I tossed them each a pair of sunglasses. My backups. What? You thought with all the fights I get into I never broke a pair? I have sunglasses stashed all over Equestria in case of, no. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Awesome!
They cheer before running off. Kids. Do you like children? Gilda asked. Her question's hidden agenda is not lost on me, but to my credit, I didn't cough or choke in the air. Instead, I gave a proper response, which means, don't really know. Never hung around them much. No response at all. Well, let's not worry about that right now. It's time to put on a show. The curtains open, revealing Nadine, Gilda, and I. Etch and Growl were organizing the other cats and griffins, while Maria and the Freuds, sans gear, were backstage. My eyes scanning the crowd, I spot Aoi and his group on a rooftop, a nightmare sitting where else but with Celestia. I shoot a glare at her, still not having forgiven her from breakfast, but she seems to notice it, though she doesn't change position. Wait. Celestia. That gives me an idea. I turn back to the crowd. Hey everyone! Crazy night last night, am I right? The crowd murmurs in disapproval. Oh, come on. Wasn't that bad, was it? Only $2 million in property damage? And for once it wasn't even my fault. That brings some nervous chuckles from the crowd. Okay, so maybe the red carpet was me, but that's what happens when a certain princess decides to play pranks. Now the crowd is loosening up a bit more, laughing more freely. These are Canterlot ponies, even more haughty than the Manhattan ones, so it'll take a bit of work to get them into the party mood. Well, this is the last stop on our concert tour before we get back to being revolutionaries. And this is also the place we're picking up anyone who wants to come who we think we can use. So, since this is our last stop, I figure we could sing something a bit more sophisticated. Griff, what are you doing? Gilda whispers in my ear. Winging it. Just trust me on this. I look back across the crowd and point my finger, panning through them, before I stop on the changeling and princess in the upper rows, along with a fully recovered Luna. What the heck happened after Amber left? Not really any of my business to know, but still. Let's see. Where are you? There you are! Nightmare! Princess Celestia! Come on down! I act the part of searching for drama, even though I already know where they are. They begin looking around, confused. Yeah, you heard me! Get on down here! The crowd murmurs at what I'm suggesting, and I can see Celestia face off from here. Vengeance! If she comes down, then she's gonna have to sing, and if she doesn't, everyone will think she's afraid to. Either way, her reputation will not be the same after this. Besides, without tricks to play the music, I don't really have any other options. They look to each other and share some quick words before begrudgingly flying down from their lofty perch and onto the stage. She gives her subjects a warm smile before turning to me. What exactly is your plan, Griffin? Oh, you'll see. I snicker as Knight buzzes around on stage, looking excited. I walk up to him and whisper in his ear. After I finish telling him my plan, he looks at me with a great big smile. So, think you can get her to do it? I'll do it, but you owe me for this, Celestia says, coming up from behind us. Oh, come on, Shelly. It'll be fun and... Wait, did you just... Why is everyone a mind reader?
Just try not to think too hard about puberty.
Nightmare giggles and then stops.
Wait, who's going to owe you, him or me?
Both of you.
Anything for you, milady.
Jeez, what a dork. I'll just call it paying you back for this morning. I turn back to my crew after passing Celestia a microphone. Ready? Gilda, Nadine, you prepped? Here we go. Just sing and don't worry about it too much. Knight, your guitar. We won't be using the music spell since Trixie's out of commission. Nadine knows drums. Apparently it's a tribal thing. And I'm on keyboard. I say the last part a bit depressed, since I have to use that damned instrument again. Nightmare spins his guitar off his back, pulling a quick riff while I sit down at the keyboard and Nadine starts tapping her drumsticks together. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Reader's note. Due to the large amount of songs and voice filters present in this chapter, in order to avoid copyright infringement, and because my computer can't handle the number of songs combined with the number of voice filters, I've decided to omit all the songs present in this chapter and instead just leave links in the description and in annotations. Every time a song starts, I will say link number and whichever song it is. The links will be in the description, and also an annotation will pop up. Link 1. Celestia began sweating as she sang, her memory spell allowing her to know the words. She closed her eyes as the music poured forth, wincing to open them as she heard cheering. She opened her eyes all the way to see that her beloved subjects were not mocking her or booing, but were actually pleased with her performance. She turned back to me with a determined look in her eye, and then back at the crowd and began singing full force. Nightmare still rocks his guitar, and Nadine pounding on the drums, and I play this blasted keyboard. I hate it. I'm good at it, but I fucking hate it. It's easier with the equestrian ones because they have innate magic to guide the less dexterous hooves of ponies, but still annoying. The song comes to an end, and Celestia looks at me, proud. Wasn't that bad now, was it, Shelley? She smiles at the crowd and whispers out of the corner of her mouth. I'm going to end you in the most horrible way I can imagine. I laugh at her reaction. Well, that won't be half as bad as what I've already been through. Besides, if I'm gone, will you look to liven up your gray life a little? Nightmare pokes me as if to say, hello, I'm right here. I ignore it. You underestimate me. Celestia's voice resonates in my ear and my mind. I grin deviously. And you me. Nightmare rolls his eyes.
Okay, so everyone's underestimating each other. What do we do now?
I ignore his question, as I'm ready to move into phase 2 of the plan. I scratch my chin and turn back to the crowd. Thank you, Canterlot. That was your very own Princess Celestia singing Call Me. For the next song, I'm thinking Prince Blue Blood. The crowd looks around until the pompous white unicorn is found, and a spotlight comes to rest on him. Who, me? The suddenly very nervous prince asks.
No, the white unicorn behind you.
Nightmare mocks, and then stops for a moment to think as he realizes just exactly who was behind him.
Better yet, Fancy Pants, why don't you join up too?
They look at each other before giving a nod. Come on down, you two. You're the next contestants on Equestrian Idol. I can barely keep a straight face as I say it, and Nightmare looks like he's about to crack up. I can only imagine what horrors are going through their heads right now. Celestia moves off to the side, not quite wanting to leave the stage just yet, as two of my griffins fly up and airlift them down.
Psst! Griff, Princess, this is gonna freaking rock!
The changeling snickers. Of course it is. It was my idea, after all. I join his laughter. Most nobles receive voice training at a young age. Many of them sing at a professional level. The princess points out, prompting everyone on stage to give her a deadpan stare. Duh. That's the point. Nobody wants to listen to bad singing. So, I was thinking we'd let the bug pick which song they sing. Any ideas? The unicorn pair are brought in front, and while Fancy Pants wears an air of calm confidence, Blue Blood looks like a nervous wreck. I give the mic to Knight, my co-host for this show.
Alright, every pony, the song that these two are going to sing is a little something from home called Sexy and I Know It. Have fun, you two!
He grins deviously at the high-class pair, now with Fancy Pants being the nervous one and Blue Blood looking like he's actually going to enjoy singing this. Link number 2. The performance was good. They sang it well, but the lyrics and the fact that it was those two singing it made it absolutely hilarious. Nightmare and I, as well as my crew, were rolling on the ground laughing, while the crowd, mostly comprised of mares, watching the two hunky stallions sing about how sexy they are, brought them all to embarrassed giggles. I struggle to right myself as I wipe a tear away from my eye. Alright. Whew! Pretty good, guys. Not bad at all. Alright, let's see. Knight, you want to pick the next one? The insectoid pony grins evilly, motioning me to come closer, and whispers in my ear as I nod. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Do it. Luna, come on down! It's your turn! A heavy metal riff begins playing, apparently caused by the buzzing of Nightmare's wings. Oh no, I am not going down there. She stamps her hoof to get the point across. I look at her intensely. Do I need to come up there and get you?
The mistress of the night is afraid of a little music? Oh, this is rich!
My partner in crime taunts, while Celestia whispers in my mind. Leave this one to me. With a flash, Celestia is gone, then back again with her still protesting sister. Glad you could make it, Woona, I say intentionally into the microphone, causing a peal of laughter to come from the crowd as the Midnight Blue Pony turns red with blush. Nightmare glomps Luna.
Don't worry, Luna's an adorable name!
Remove thine appendages from my neck. I will not be made part of this foolishness. Oh, yes, you will. Or do I need to tell everyone about your abacus? Her eyes turn to pinpricks, focused on me. You wouldn't dare. All of Canterlot knowing about little Abby? Oh, how droll.
Oh, I heard you singing little old Abby to sleep last night. What else would I want you to join? You're a beautiful singer.
The changeling joins in my taunting. Luna grumbles. Fine. Link number 3. Knight starts playing the song over again from the start, and I hop backstage to relax for a bit. Fairly soon the lyrics come in, and Luna's hauntingly beautiful voice brings the entire crowd to silence as they listen. Author's note. The song is pretty long, so you may just want to sit a bit and listen. Gilda, you having fun?
Not really. I mean, we're just getting the nobles to sing. We're not really even needed right now.
Truth is, I kind of wanted a break. We've been doing this for a while, and I figured for our last show, we'd let the crowd have some fun. Besides, it's part of the plan. Unless we get them warmed up by having icons they know and love doing it, these suits will never get out of their shells. Luna's the last one anyways. Then we'll head back to our show. Okay. She gives me a quick peck. Not like a bird, like a kiss, moron. And we each headed back out onto the stage, as the song ended. After the song is over, I walk back out onto the stage, and the crowd cheering for their lesser-known ruler. See, Luna? It's not so bad. As if ponies are honestly going to boo their princess. trolling Griffin is correct, dear sister. Your singing is quite good, the elder sister adds. Well, I'll admit it was fun. At this line, I immediately wink at Nightmare, since we're both thinking the fun has been doubled. Right about now. Nightmare chuckles and winks back, his face asking silently, "Want to make a literal shout-out?" I nod back, the entire silent conversation having taken about a second before we both belt out, "The fun has been doubled!" The infamous line is heard by just about everyone. Most of the ponies look around confused, while a small group burst out laughing, and Luna face-hoofed.
Anyone from Ponyville ought to remember that line.
The bug laughs. Alright, enough making fun of Luna. Well, you've all had your fun, so get off my stage. Go on, you heard me, back to the audience with you. Nightmare pulls Celestia and Luna in close as they start heading off the stage.
Shall we, ladies?
Not you, Night. You're staying up here the rest of the show. Nightmare stops in his track and turns to look at me.
Who should put a what, huh?
You heard me. After a moment's pause, he bows to the princesses and walks back onto the stage, most likely wondering what the hell I'm up to. I bring him and Gilda into a huddle. So, Knight, you know the lonely boy by the black keys? He blinks and frowns.
Heard of it, never actually listened to it.
I back away slightly and look at him in disdain. Seriously?
I'm willing to bet you haven't heard of Sabaton either.
Different tastes, I suppose. He nods.
Yeah, pretty much. Then again, there are some classics that no one can top.
I wonder if... would that work? Hold on for a second. I'm going to try something. Don't give me that look. It isn't dangerous. At least, I think it isn't. Memoria a Musica. Nightmare sits down for a moment, listening to the music that wasn't there as I fed it straight to his brain using an already charged gem. When it was done, he played the first bar flawlessly and smiled. Gilda, you mind taking keyboard? I'm going to be the mic. Sure. She broke the huddle to get to her station. Knight, you're going to sing the chorus with me. Got it? The changeling nods. Rock on! Link number 4. As the night wore on, playing music next to Nightmare, I actually started having fun with the guy. Considering before yesterday I was ready to kill him out of sheer annoyance, this is a pretty big improvement, although I still don't want to hang out with him long term. Now that things are winding down, it was time for the finale. You ready for the big finish? As if I even needed to ask.
Griffin, this is what I live for. Every pony, may I please have your attention?
The crowd just keeps cheering and hooting. I'm glad I was able to get these stiffs to lighten up, but we have a show to do. Yo, pony! Shut up and listen! And that got their attention. We wait for the crowd to die down before we begin.
Now, it has come to my attention that some of our esteemed nobility disliked our little incident at the gala. Griffin, would you like to do the honors?
I'm not apologizing. He rolls his eyes.
Fine. Allow me to apologize for the trouble we caused.
He grins, then begins buzzing his wings, making a familiar tune.
Sorry for Party Rocket!
Link number 5. When the lyrics begin, he full-on body checks me off the stage, where I am caught by a number of ponies who proceed to crowd surf me, slowly passing me over their heads towards the back of the crowd. I guess it's alright. Aw, screw it, here I come! Gilda dives off the stage as well, followed by a giggling Nadine. As they come up beside me, I yell over the roaring crowd. And now we make our escape! Celestia, you will always forever remember this as the day you almost caught Captain Griffin North. A look of surprise comes over her face. Her horn glows and she disappears. Her bug buddy begins chasing me, trying to catch us, followed by several others as the entire crew takes to the skies, seeing this as our chance to escape the havoc of the concert. As we reach the ship, we are surprised to find that Steelhorn and Gearman are sitting on the deck, bound and gagged, while Celestia is sipping tea out of a small table on board. Going somewhere? Then Nightmare lands and slides unexpectedly, tripping over me and landing right in front of his idol, gasping.
I almost had him, Princess.
I simply stare at the princess who teleported on board my unguarded ship. Rule number 1. Never leave your valuables unguarded. I let out a sigh. Right, you can teleport. Well, let's get this whole you murdering me thing done and over with. Celestia's horn flashes, and I suddenly find that the whole world has taken on a shade of Pinkie Pie. Oh, never mind, it's just me. All of me. Hot pink. Easy enough? The alicorn says smugly, while my crew begins snickering silently, hoping I didn't hear them. The head of Celestia fan club bursts out in an uncontrolled fit of laughter. My reaction is to scratch my chin and speak stoically. Only the manliest of men are not afraid to wear pink. You'll have to do better than that if you want to break me, though. She walks around me, appraising my new color scheme. In other words, checking me out. Yeah, you think I missed it when I dropped down to look at that? I didn't, Celestia. Suddenly, she stands up straight. There is a certain ceremony you will be attending tomorrow morning. No excuses. Don't wanna. Nightmare chuckles, turning into Pinkie Pie, Cupcake's version.
Oh, we have ways of making you talk, or cooperate.
Knight, you didn't say it with V's for W's, and now it's been totally ruined.
Okay then, we have ways of making you talk.
Too late. Moments passed, but fine, whatever, I'll be there. I assume there's something else you wanted to talk to me about? Gilda's expression turns serious, but her eyes are filled with pity. There is. I'm sorry.
Gilda? Cute cat lady? I think we best give him some time alone.
The bug says, for once being able to read the mood properly as he changes back to his normal form and heads inside with my crew. I took a deep breath and then let it out. Alright, this is going to be more painful than being pink, so let's get it over with. I folded my legs under me and laid down on the deck, in the same position where the Sphinx in Egypt, and stare into the night sky as Celestia walks up behind and to the right, then sits as well. I'd like to start with how sorry I am about what happened at breakfast. I did not mean to upset you, and I apologize for how my words may have reopened old wounds. Whatever. Apology accepted. I don't really care. I got her back at the concert. Second, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my past. My history before I came to Equestria and overthrew Discord. It is not so different from a path that I see before you. In fact, you remind me of a younger me, and that is something I find most disturbing. And I'm not just going to get a lecture, but story time as well. Aren't I lucky? Yeah. So you weren't always the loving mother you come off as? I figured as much. Why else would your subjects have such a completely irrational fear of you? The only reason anyone acts so afraid around someone so benevolent is if they have a reason to be. They can sense it. She ignored what I was saying, lost in her thoughts. Then I figured it out. She wasn't telling me her story. She wasn't telling anyone. She was remembering it for herself. I was captured once. Did you know that? Imprisoned by a being as foul as he was powerful, he treated me in equal parts a trophy and a plaything. She sighs, a slightly glazed look in her eye. Let me guess, he taunted and tortured you every day until you finally had enough, escaped, and guided him like the pig he was? I said, more as a statement than a question. Still, she ignored it. He called himself the Herald, and he took his pleasure from my body in whatever sadistic ways you can imagine, and more. Eventually he managed to break me, my will and broken body once upon the wheel of torture and terror, and a maddened husk of lust and rage was all that remained of the once proud Celestia. This lasted for centuries. My memories faded into obscurity, and I began to believe that this had always been my life, that anything before was but a fevered dream. This Herald sounds like a real asshat, although the important question is, if he was just the Herald, then what was he the Herald of? She continues to ignore me, her eyes no longer on the bright, vibrant eyes of a joyful immortal. For a brief moment, before she regained her composure, Celestia looked old. This is supposed to be the part where my knight in shining armor arrives upon a noble steed, shatters my chains, and slays the demons and carries me off to the sunset, isn't it? She asked, finally paying me some manner of attention. No. Real world, that kind of crap doesn't happen unless it's Discord. He's the only one cheesy enough to pull off something like that. Celestia sighs again. Eventually, the herald grew bored of his prize and cast me aside in favor of another. I was left at the gates of his castle, shaved bare, bloody, beaten, and fueled by a dark, dark rage. By that point, I belonged fully to him, body and soul, and the thought that my beloved master had no more need of me drove me to the blackest pits of the universe, and to powers so old even the gods had forgotten them. That of hate, jealousy, rage, and blood. She almost seemed to shiver at the thought. With the darkest of magics coursing through my veins, I returned to his palace. The walls shattered beneath my onslaught, the guards buckled beneath my might, and were cast aside, and I tore his newest concubine's soul to the bloody shreds in my fury. But I wasn't done, not by far. I battled with the herald atop the towers of midnight, and I nearly fell once more. But he erred. He had not accounted upon my wielding of powers, as dark as his own, and eventually he lost. I could feel a small inkling of rage bubbling inside of her, and her maid standing straight and spiky, her eyes and facial features full of wrath, her coat graying slightly, and the air itself permeated with a hatred so strong you could feel it like it was a tangible object. Small sparks on her skin, not quite arcing. I nearly jumped out of my feathers when I saw this, but she regained control and returned to normal, taking a few deep gasps of air to once more regain her composure after her mane fell flat, and sweat appeared on her brow. I cast him down, she continued her story, down into the deepest pits of the earth, and wrapped him in there in chains, forged in the heart of a dying star until the ends of times. There he remained still, a fragment of his former self, condemned to an eternity of nothing but pain and thoughts of revenge. Do you know why I am telling you this, Griffin? No matter, I will tell you. She took another deep breath. I know what it's like to run off rage and hate, to turn all the wrongs done to you into strength. I know the kind of power it gives, the addiction, the beauty of seeing all the horrors inflicted upon you done 1,000-fold to your enemies. She paused. And I know what it will do to you if you reach the end of your path. And that is? You will die, Griffin. You will die alone, all of your friends slain and buried with only the tears you cannot shed to remember them. I will not tell you what choices to make. I will not command you to cease, and I will not stop you if you choose to walk this path. I can offer you only the wisdom of one who has walked this path before you. Let go of your anger, let go of your hate, or you will never know peace. I sat and looked at her for a second, thinking very carefully before I spoke. Do you think I like being the way I am? Of course not, I hate it. But that doesn't change the fact that it is me. If I let go of my hate, will there be anything left? Or will I be an empty shell? This anger is a part of who I am. So large a piece of me that if it vanishes, I really will die. And I don't mean metaphorically. I let go of a small portion of it in that club, neckties, and I collapsed once I got outside. At this, she seems genuinely concerned, as well as sorrowful, and begins pondering something. What? I do not know. Besides, that won't happen. It only happens if you let your hate control you, not the other way around. She got up, walked in front of me, and looked me straight in the eyes. Hate is a drug, Griffin. There is no control. If hate is a drug, then currently it's my prescription, my medication. I know all this already. I know I need to let go of my hate, and to not let it poison me, but I don't know how. By this point, it's all I know. I've never been without, and until I've done what I need to do, I can't let it go. I let out a breath, and then took another as our eyes remained locked, in a what looked like to any who couldn't hear us to be a contest of wills between a goddess and a madman. And what of the end? She asks. I begin laughing. I laugh, and I laugh, and I laugh until a slight amount of fear makes itself present even in her eyes. I stand, and push my beak right up against her muzzle to stare straight into her pupils. You're telling me I'll die alone? That happened years ago. Only since coming here have I started to live again. Hate may be a drug, and I might not be able to control it on my own, but that's why I have my family. We all have our own darkness, but so long as we stick together, we can pull each other back from the brink. Blood is thicker than water, but fire is stronger than steel. So long as we keep each other in check, none of our embers will turn to an inferno. For every time I have slashed out in anger, not once has it been at those I care about, and it never will be. And with that, I collapse on deck, splayed out. Just being in Celestia's presence during her relapse, combined with still being on the mend and tired after the concert, was just too much. I was still conscious, but I lay on my side and watched the Sun Princess flick out a tear of her eye as she stood. Celestia turns away and walks onto the railing of the deck, spreading her wings. There are greater powers to call upon than those of the dark side, young Padawan. One of them is standing beside you. I would have laughed at the Star Wars reference had it not been so fitting, and if I hadn't been so damn tired. As for standing behind me, Gilda, Nadine, and Nightmare were there. They never actually went inside. They were spying the whole time. I'm not sure how I missed that. Hey, Celestia! She turns her head back as she prepares to fly off into the night, and looks at me laying prone on the deck, struggling to lift my head. Once this is all over, once I don't need my hate anymore, do you think you could, help me? Her eyes, once full of worry, suddenly become warm and motherly, and she smiles. I would be honored. The changeling comes closer and looks at me with an unreadable expression.
I'll gladly help if I can.
He then takes his position next to the princess, and the pair fly back into the castle. Well, I'm tired. Coming to bed, Gilda? Gilda nods and supports me as we go to our bedroom. I lay on the bed, asleep, before I hit the mattress. I feel a claw rubbing my head, and a soft voice whisper, "Shh, it's okay." And that night I dreamt. Not the pleasant dream I've been having of late, but dreams of misery and pain. Dreams of darkness